everyone, welcome back. My name is Prashanti. We often heard about computer virus. Computer sabotage is nothing but releasing computer virus into our system to damage our system. So today we are going to learn about computer sabotage. Computer sabotage is nothing but malicious acts to destroy our computer by launching computer virus and denial of service attack. Denial of service attack is like a legitimate user or authorized user will not able to access their information systems, other devices and other network services because of the acts of hacker. Botnet. Before going to know about botnet, let us know about bot. Bot is nothing but it is a automated technique, like it will automate the programs. And network is nothing but the collection of computers which are connected together. So together botnet is a collection of computers which has bots in it. Like every computer connected will have one or more bots. So they are controlled by one individual, and a hacker or bot herder will create a bot, which is an automated technique, to know the systems which are not secured. So we have antivirus softwares and other softwares to protect our computer from computer virus and other malicious programs. So bot herders or hackers will try to write a automated program or write a automated technique to find the computers which are not secured. So they used to perform actions like sending spam, stealing our data and information, and launching internet attacks, and many other malicious acts. So it is like a group of computers which has bots in it, and it is controlled by an individual, and they work together in a coordinated fashion. Malware. Malware is a malicious software. So it is written to perform destructive acts like damaging our softwares, deleting our important information, and other things. Logic bomb. Logic bomb is a set of instructions which are inserted into a program. Like a program is a legitimate program which is written for a particular purpose, but these set of instructions are inserted into that program without knowing like to the users, and this set of instructions will be executed on meeting a particular condition. Like we have a logic like if condition. So if it meets a condition, this set of instructions will be executed. And time bomb. Time bomb is also a set of instructions, and they will be executed at a specific time. And when these instructions are executed, it will perform an actions like releasing computer virus and other malicious activities. And it is unethical and illegal to write malicious programs or softwares. Computer virus. Computer virus is a software program, and it is written by user knowingly. Like intentionally, some people will write computer virus software program. So it will alter the way computer works. Like it will slow down our computer, and the softwares and other things will be executed slowly. It is often embedded into programs, like we download some programs like games, video files, music files. So computer virus, it is embedded into this type of programs. So when we download these programs or view these programs, it will be downloaded into our computer. Computer worm. It is a malicious program. So it is designated to spread rapidly. It means computer worm, a malicious program, will itself send that program to others by email attachment or through internet or network. So when we are connected to a specific network, so computer worm, it will send the malicious program to the network by itself. And it is also sent as an email attachment. When we open the file which is sent through an email, it might contain malicious program. When we open that attachment, so it will be downloaded into our computer and it will send itself to other users. In this figure, you can see how computer virus and other malicious softwares will spread in the internet. So a computer virus is like it will be invented or written by a programmer intentionally, and it will be embedded into a file. It can be embedded into a software programs, or it can be posted to a web page, and it can also be sent as an email attachment. And when infected file or web page is opened in our computer, and the virus will itself copies into our computer, and it will be shared through other networks which we are connected, and also it might be sent as an email attachment to other users in our contacts. And also the computer virus will also be copied into removable storage. Like if we connect USB flash drives or a pen drive or any other external hard disk drives, if we connect them, the computer virus will also be copied into that external storage medium, which is removable storage medium, and it will spread very quickly. So we have to be very careful about computer virus. Trojan horse. Trojan horse is also a malicious program, and it pretends to be it pretends to be a something else. Like it pretends to be to perform some other things, but it is a malicious program. So it appears to be a game. So some games are like we have a specific purpose. So it appears to be a game or any utility program, but it is actually a malicious program. And it must be downloaded. We unknowingly might download some softwares, but they are malicious softwares. But we don't know the actual truth, but we think they are utility programs for a specific purpose. For example, rogue antivirus programs. In this figure, you can see rogue anti-malware apps. When we install rogue antivirus programs, that software will install malicious programs into our computer, and it will pretend that our computer have malicious programs, but the software will actually install malicious programs into our computer, and it will ask us to pay for the software in order to remove the malicious programs which is installed by the software. So we have to be very careful. Rogue antivirus software will pretend itself as an antivirus software, but it is actually an malicious program. And ransomware. Ransomware is also an antivirus program. It is also same. It is a malicious program, but it pretends to be an antivirus software. It actually installs malicious programs into our computer, and it will ask us to pay in order to remove those malicious programs from our computer. If we don't pay for the software, it will it will hack our computer. It has the ability to lock our computer screen and so on. So we have to be very careful with this kind of softwares. Like it is it pretends to be an utility program, but it is actually a malicious program, which is Trojan horse. Mobile malware. Mobile malware is malicious software in mobile phones. It infects smartphones, and smartphones with Bluetooth are high at risk. So, denial of service attacks. It is an act of sabotage. So, the legitimate user, as we have discussed before, a legitimate user cannot access to their information systems and web servers and other activities because of the acts of hacker. Let us see the denial of service attacks in the figure. In this figure, you can see we have web server, hacker's computer, and legitimate computer. So denial of service attack will be for legitimate computer, where hacker computer will continuously request web server, and web server will try to find the address of hacker's computer, but hacker's computer will return false information always. So web server will try to find the hacker's computer information, but it fails, and when a legitimate computer sends the request to the web server and it is overwhelmed by the hacker's request, so it crashes. Web server will be crashed, so it cannot answer legitimate computer. So that is what we have discussed, denial of service attack. So legitimate computer cannot access their resources or server resources and network resources because of the acts of hackers. Data, program, or website alteration. So sabotage also occurs, and hacker will change or delete the information of the computer system, like student changing grades. These are the examples. Employee performing vengeful acts like deleting or changing corporate data, which is illegal. And data on websites will be altered. Hacker will hack the social networking accounts like Facebook, and they will change the content of the web Facebook page or profile, and they will manipulate the data, which is an illegal act. Security software. So we can protect against computer sabotage through security software. Like some programs are they are written to protect our computer for variety of threats like antivirus softwares. It will detect and eliminate computer viruses. And we have to set up antivirus software to run continuously to check our incoming email messages, instant messages, and other files. It quarantines any suspicious content. Like if it find any suspicious content, it will not allow it to run in our system. So it should be set to perform regular system scans. Whenever we install some programs or whenever some software will try to be in contact with our system, the antivirus software will scan our system. So we have to set it to perform regular system scans. We have to keep our security software up to date. Like we have expiry for our antivirus software, so we have to keep it up to date. And we also have ISPs and webmail providers, internet service providers and webmail providers. They are also offering malware protections to their subscribers. And we have discussed about internet service providers like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. They are also offering malware protection for their subscribers. And other security precautions. We can control access to computers and networks. We can control access through password or biometric authentication. And we have intrusion protection systems. It also helps against denial of service attacks. In this figure, you can see security softwares, different types of security softwares, antivirus softwares. It removes viruses, worms, and other malware softwares, and anti-spyware, super anti-spywares. They finds and removes spyware and tracking cookies. And we have mobile softwares to find mobile malwares. Beyond fingerprint readers, digital tattoos and more. Like for more authentication, to provide more authentication and to protect our system, we have our digital tattoos and more. We are using facial gestures and biometric like verification for our phone to protect our phone and systems. So it includes liveliness check and future alternatives for logging into softwares are digital tattoos. So in this figure you can see a digital tattoo which is stamped onto skin. So it will be used as an authentication for verification. And we have authentication pills. So when we swallow a authentication pill, it has a like chip and switch in it, and the electrolytes in our stomach will give power to the pill, to the chip and switch. It will make the switch on and off. And our body itself is an authentication token, and our hands and our fingers act as the wires. So authentication pills will be will act as an authentication token. A quick quiz. Which of the following is used to control your computer by someone else? Worm, Trojan horse, botnet. So we have seen about 3 malicious programs where worm is it itself sends the malicious program to other through the network. And Trojan horse is a malicious program which pretends to be an utility program, but it is a malicious program. Botnet is a network of computers which has bots in it. It is controlled by someone which is hacker or bot headers. So the correct answer to the question is botnet. True or false question. Computer viruses can only be spread via internet. It is false. Computer viruses can be downloaded through some softwares like games, music files, and also it can be sent as an email attachment, and it can be incorporated into a web page. So computer viruses will be downloaded through other platforms, not only through the internet. A dash is a type of malware that masquerades as something else. So that malware program which pretends to be something else. We have discussed about rogue antivirus software. It is a malicious program, but it pretends to be antivirus software. So the correct answer is Trojan horse. Here are the answers. Next, we are going to discuss about online theft, fraud, and other .cons. .con. It is a fraud which is carried through the internet. And Internet Crime Complaint Center received more than 24,000 complaints. So we have seen a lot of frauds that are happening in the internet. Data or information theft, like our information and our data, some people might steal our information. It can occur in several ways, like stealing our actual computer. If consider I have a mobile device. If I lost my mobile device, some people will try to find my password and will try to steal my information. So It can occur by losing our actual physical device. And when hacker gain access to our computer, like unauthorized access to our computer, they will try to steal our information. And they will mainly try to steal our confidential and private information. Identity theft, like using someone else's identity for like to purchase goods, to obtain new credit cards. And it means illegally pretending to be someone else. For example, let us consider if I lost my Sam's Club or Costco membership card, someone might get that membership card and they will try to use it like me, pretending me, and they will try to use my membership card for purchasing goods. And like stolen information, as we have discussed, information obtained via documents, stolen information, and so on. It is very expensive and time consuming to know who got our things, who got our identity, who stolen our identity. So millions of Americans have lost their identity each year. In this figure, you can see how identity theft works. So the thief, a person who pretends to be the authorized user, will obtain information from mail or through, like, by stealing our devices, or stealing our credit card things, and so on. And they will make purchases with the credit card which they got. So it is very huge process to find out the the stolen person, like to find out the person, to find out the thief. Phishing. Phishing is using spoofed email messages to gain credit card numbers and other personal information. Phishing is like getting confidential data and sensitive data using spoofed email messages. Spear phishing. Like, it is a personalized phishing scheme. It will target specific individuals. Like spoofed email messages will be sent to a specific individuals. They will target some people. Social media hacks. It is an act of accessing someone else's social media account. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social media platforms. They will try to access our account. For example, consider Facebook account. They will try to access our Facebook account and they will modify our profile, our page, and everything. In this figure, you can see phishing act. So this is a spoofed email message where you can see we feel it is actually came from Bank of California, but it is actually a spoofed email message, and the link obtained in this will not take you to Bank of California web page, but it will take you to the hacker's web page, spoofed web page. And when you give your details, like your login ID and password, they will access your credentials and they will try to steal your stuff, your money, using the credentials. Farming. It is a use of spoofed domain names to obtain personal information. And spoofed domain names. We have seen domain names like bankofamerica.com or bradley.edu and so on. They are domain names. So farming, like they will spoof the domain names. For example, Bank of America, they will remove E in America, and they will it looks like bankofamerica.com, but they will remove they will spoof the domain names. And they also hack the DNS servers, which are actual DNS servers for like domain name servers, and they will route the request to spoofed web pages. Drive-by farming. Like hackers change the victim's designated DNS servers. When I'm trying to request for legitimate web page, they will change the DNS server of the web page, and they will drive it to they will route it to a hacker's DNS server. Online auction fraud. When we purchase items online through Amazon, like through uh, net internet, we never it will be never delivered. It is called online auction fraud. I'm not saying about Amazon, but it will have other web pages. When we order items through those web pages, we will never receive the items. The items will never be delivered. It is illegal. It is a type of online fraud. Other internet scams. Loan and pyramid scams, work at home cons, Nigerian letter fraud scheme, pornographic sites, fake job site postings. These are other internet scams. Protecting against data and information theft. So businesses should use good security measures to protect our data, and individuals should not give their personal information like social security number and other information. Protecting against identity theft. So we should be careful about our sensitive data, credit card information, and we should not place our sensitive information in any email box or in any we should not place our sensitive information like passwords in any files. We have to watch our bills and credit report, and we should never click on links which are provided in email messages. We have to directly type the domain names or URL. Anti-phishing tools. So anti-phishing tools are built into web browsers. So whenever when we are doing, they will warn us. Unknowingly, we will sometimes be in risk. So these anti-phishing tools will warn us. Some security sites use additional layers of security. And some banks and financial institutions will also have different levels of security. These are the tips for identifying phishing email messages. So the phishing email will contain some sounding urgent kind of things. So it asks us to provide our personal information like our PIN number and so on, and it contains links, but it will not go to the legitimate web page. It will go to the hacker's web page, spoof web page. It uses legitimate logos, like it will have correct logos. It appears it appears that it came from legitimate organization, known organization, but it is not. It contains spelling or grammatical errors. And these are the tips to reduce risk and identity theft. We should protect our social security number, and we have to be very careful with our physical email and sensitive data, and we have to use antivirus, anti-spyware and firewall softwares. We have to be very cautious, and we should never click on links, and we have to use very strong passwords. for our online accounts and computer, and we have to verify sources, like whether it is a correct source or correct web page or not before giving our sensitive information. And we have to watch our bills, and we have to be very careful, and we have to use security softwares and browsers that warns us if we try to view the phishing site. Financial alerts. We can get email or text alerts for our account activity. If we purchase anything, or if any transaction happened through our credit card, we'll get our financial alerts. So we have to set up it. And we can help identify unauthorized activity quickly. When we get the alerts which we didn't perform, we can identify the unauthorized activity. And we have online money management aggregator services to view the status of multiple accounts. If we have multiple accounts for credit cards, bank accounts, we have the services for money management. We can set up alerts. Digital certificate. It is a group of electronic data to identify the organization, and it can be obtained from certificate authorities. It contains identity information about person or organization. So, using digital certificate, we can identify the information about the organization. And also used with secure websites to guarantee that the site is secure. So it can be SSL or EV SSL certificate. Digital signatures. These are the unique digital codes, and these can be attached to our email message. Like they will encrypt a email message using digital signatures. It is used to verify the identity of the sender, and it will guarantee that the mail is not, like the file is not changed as it is signed by the sender. It uses public key encryption, and the document will be signed by the sender private key, and the key and the document will create a unique digital signature, and public signature will be verified using sender's public key. The recipient will verify the mail whether it is secured or not using sender's public key. In this figure, you can see digitally signing an email message in Microsoft Outlook. So here we should get a digital ID, and we can install it, and then using the appropriate option sign in our email program to sign our email message, and the recipient can click the option to view the digital signature. Protecting against online auction fraud and other internet scams, we have to use our common sense, and we have to check online auction sellers' feedback. So we have to use our common sense, like whether it is a good one or whether it is malicious one or not. We have to pay for online purchases via credit card. So when it is not authorized or correct one, so we can take our money back, and we can use our online payment system. Cyberbullying, like it is harassing through electronically. Children or teenagers bullying other children it is a common activity in the internet. It can be done through emails, social networking sites, blogs. It is common today. It is estimated that 50% of US teenagers are affected. Cyber talking. It is a repeated threats or harassing behavior between adults using emails and other internet communication. So there are no specific laws against cyber talking, but it is illegal. Online pornography. It attempts to ban this type of things from internet, and online pornography which involves minors is an illegal activity. Safety tips for adults. We have to be very cautious, and we have to use gender neutral while identifying names, and we should not reveal our personal information. We can request our personal information to be removed from online directories to protect us. And safety tips for children and teens. We have to monitor our children's computer and smartphone activities, and we have to be cautious, like sending compromising photos, like that. We should not share our personal information for any reason. In this figure, you can see the computer network and internet security legislation. These are the acts and the dates of the acts. We can see Identity Theft Penalty Enhancement Act in 2004. These are all the laws. Protect Act, USA Patriot Act, No Electronic Theft Act in 1997. So you can go through this figure for computer network legislation and internet security legislation. A quick quiz. Sending an email that looks like it came from someone else in order to obtain the information for fraudulent purposes is called dash. So we have seen about we can see the options: hacking, online auction fraud, and phishing. So you might know the correct answer. Hacking is like gaining the access to the system to steal the information, and online auction fraud is when we purchase goods online, we never receive the items will never be delivered. And phishing is stealing our information by spoofing email messages. So the correct answer is phishing. True or false? Cyber talkers often find their victims online. Yes. Now, cyber talkers will always find their victims online. It is true. And using someone else's identity to purchase goods or services or perform other transactions is called dash. We all know it. It is an identity theft. These are the answers. Summary for chapter 4. So we have to be very careful about network and internet security because a lot of frauds and which are happening in our internet. So we have to be very careful about network and internet security to protect us from illegal activities of hacker and unauthorized access and unauthorized use, like gaining access to our computer and our resources and using it without permission is called unauthorized access and use. Protecting against unauthorized access using firewall and other softwares and other things like passwords, biometric verification systems, biometric readers, and so on. Computer sabotage is an act of releasing computer virus into our system to destroy our computer. And protecting against computer sabotage using antivirus softwares, anti-spywares, mobile softwares. And online theft, online fraud, and other data.coms. We have seen about identity theft, online auction fraud, and other online frauds. Protecting against online theft, we should not share our personal information. And we have seen personal safety issues for adults and children. And protecting against cyberbullying, cyber stalking, we should not send our personal information. Network and internet security legislation, we have seen the acts and the dates the acts were formed. These are the optional useful web links. You can go through these YouTube videos for to know more about cyber security, computer security, and cyber security from Iowa State University. You can watch it. So this is for today. Thank you for watching.